Right, ladies and gentlemen, 50 years of the Dino. We've got an amazing selection of Dinos, and I'm very lucky to be joined here by Matthias, who is the authority, the world expert, Matthias Barnes, on Dinos. If anyone ever wants to know anything about a Dino, and this is not being nice, you have to buy Matthias's book. The Compendium is an amazing book with all the information you want about a Dino, and I've asked him if he can come and give me some commentating, some little bit of help. Just a quick overview of Dino. Dino was a brand launched by Ferrari. Everyone calls it Ferrari Dino, but actually it's a self-standing brand. If you look, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a Dino shouldn't have a Ferrari badge on it. Many owners add on the Ferrari badge, but actually it's a separate brand. It was named Dino after Alfredino, which is Enzo Ferrari's son, who unfortunately had a premature death, who passed away, and the brand was launched, yes, for Ferrari to compete against Porsche in the 911s, and in memory of Enzo Ferrari's son. So enough about the Dino brand. This is one of the very first Dinos, a 206. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's an all alloy body, and some of the differences you'll see, for example, it has center knockoff wheels, which in the next models we'll see. It's got a wooden steering wheel, a slightly different interior, outside fuel filler, probably the purest design. And I can tell you, if you're lucky enough to drive a Dino, I believe that sitting inside the Dino and driving is one of the best views out of any car. You've got all the instruments in front of you and two beautiful round bulges in front of you. You really feel like you're in a sports car. A fabulous Dino 206.
Max, just let me add some additional information, particularly about this car. This car is one of the very first 206 ever built. It's actually number 27, and it is the first car imported into the UK ever. So a very special car to this country from my point of view. And one of the previous owner was what was the name? Sorry, David Clapton. I just missed that. Sorry about that. Eric Clapton was one of the first owner of the car. Unfortunately, he crashed it in the early 70s, but it was not a big damage. It was a bit damage to the front. And the car was set for many years in storage, and was found about 5, 6, 7 years ago, and then was restored by a UK guy here in England, and then sold twice, and ended up now with these lovely owners in Belgium. And I think it's a very interesting, very special car, and we are very glad to have this car here on show this year at the 50th anniversary of Ferrari Dino.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthias. Werner, Sophie, thank you so much for bringing her all the way from Belgium. This has won Coup de Coeur, which is the prize awarded by the whole jury for the car and the people that really grabbed their hearts. So congratulations, guys, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. Next up is a pheasant who is not in the concours. Have you let your pheasants out? 246 GT. So this is the next evolution in the Dino range. Still an early 246, but we've gone from a 2-litre engine to a 2.4-litre engine. Very similar in design as the 206. It isn't all alloy, and I have to say, I've got to take my hat off to Andrew, who's shipped his car here all the way from Boston in America for the Concours. He did go to the, I hear, rumor has it, that you were in Italy for the 50th Dino anniversary. Drove all the way through Europe, France, Germany, I don't know where you've been, but Switzerland, sorry, France, UK, you name it, Luxembourg, there we go, Portugal. I was testing you, just checking. Not Portugal, but everywhere else, and drove all the way through Europe and made it here to Blenheim for the Salon Prive Concours. And after the Concours, the car will be flown back to Boston, I think it is, Massachusetts, close enough, back home. So a round of applause for shipping your car over to the Concours all the way from the United States of America.
And Andrew, you'll be delighted to hear, out of all the 8 Dinos in the class today, this is one of the class winners. So amazing. Congratulations to you both. Matthias, while we're presenting the award, why did this car win class winner today?
This is a well-deserved win, I have to say, because they did a fantastic job on the restoration of this car. This is almost a 100-point car. We hardly find anything to deduct. And Andrew has done a lot of research on this car himself for many, many years. He down to every screw and nut and bolt and whatever. He researched whether the plating is correct and all these things, parts, the rubbers, everything. So we had hardly anything to mull around. A fantastic restoration, a well-deserved victory. Thank you for bringing the car from the US. Well deserved. Thank you so much. Thank
Even
you.
Matthias is excited about it. Well done. Now we have a very special Dino, which is a very special color. Here it is. This car was bought by none other than Peter Noon. Now, just in case you guys don't know Peter Noon, he sold more than 60 million records. Lead singer of Herman's Hermits. Oh, stop there. An interesting little fact. When he bought the car, it was in silver. Grigio Otei is the name of the car. But actually, that's not what he wanted. The reason why he bought the silver one is because that's all he could get quickly. And so then he went and had the car repainted when it was almost new to Viola Dino Metallizzato. This is the fabulous blue purple that he wanted, and which I think really suits a singer, a pop singer that has sold more than 60 million albums. So a magnificent color for this Dino. Interestingly, when it was bought, they didn't know actually that, it wasn't sure of the history of the car, but I think it was a very pleasant surprise after they're doing the research.
So Mick Philpott, thanks once again for entering her, and you guys have won class runner-up in 50 years of the celebration of the Dino. Congratulations both of you. Thanks Tracy.
Isn't that colour just spectacular? So 70s. Coming up, we have a Dino from 1972. Bought in Australia, of all places, and already in this magnificent, fabulous condition. One of the details on this Dino, which I love, are the plexiglass headlight covers, which weren't actually something that the factory did from you, but it was an option that you could have fitted to your car at any time. But I feel like it just completes the line of the Dino. It's a car that does about 8,000 miles a year. Isn't that great? Fabulous that it gets out and gets driven. One of the slightly later Dino, and you'll see what I said about the knockoff wheels, which hopefully, yes, I'm correct, get changed during the production of the car to the bolt-on wheels. One of the sort of final iterations of the lovely Ferrari, not Ferrari, correct myself, Dino 246 GT. Thank you for bringing the car along, magnificent. Fabulous silver Dino 246 GT. This is a two-owner car with only 13,000 miles, and when they went to buy it, that was a good story, bought it in 2007. They went into a warehouse to look for the Dino. He was told that there was a Dino, and he turned up in the warehouse and there was a line of 7 Dinos, all in a line, all different colors. And the owner said to him, "So you said you want a Dino, which color do you want?" Which I thought was great. And he picked silver for his 246 GT. So 2 owners from new and just 13,000 miles. This is a good representation of what an original Dino would be like. Interesting that this car has another option, which is Daytona seats. So when you went to Ferrari to order your Dino, one of the things that you could ask for was Daytona seats, which basically were exactly the same seats that you could get in its big sister, the 12-cylinder Ferrari Daytona. Thank you very much for bringing the Dino 246 for the 50-year celebration. Let me tell you about this car. Andy and Helen own the car, and they bought it as a restoration project. Great number plate. Bought it as a restoration project, and boy, I saw the pictures, I can tell you, it was a basket case. They embarked on a restoration, and it's a true family affair. It was done by Barkaways. It took a long time, I was told. Every little detail was researched, and Andy actually spec'd or restored the car exactly as he would have spec'd it if he would have bought it new. And it's been a real sort of family affair to do this full restoration. I think everyone was involved, so much so that even their dog has been named Dino after this experience. So they do love their Dinos in this family, and I would say that the restoration, the quality of the details, I have rarely seen on a Dino. So I know it was a long time, but I tell you, it was really worth it. Congratulations, well done, and well done to the guys at Barkaways for this restoration. We have a yellow Dino coming up, again a coupe. Interesting that actually the original color of this car was verde germoglio, which is a very interesting light shade of green, but yellow was also another very sort of typical color that you get in the 70s for these cars. Interesting little car, little feature of this car. So these Dinos were made to compete against the 911s. Ferrari had this idea that he had to make a slightly smaller car, 6 cylinders, just like the 911. Well, one of the things that they did, as it was a slightly cheaper car, was that it had vinyl seats. And what people could order from the factory was a cloth cover to cover the vinyl seats, as vinyl gets a bit hot and sticky in summer, and it always gets lost. It always gets lost. You never see it, do you? Well, interesting that Matthias was saying to me he's only seen these cloth covers twice in his life, and in the boot of this car still has the original little cloth cover that you could get to put over the vinyl seats. What a nice little detail. Thank you for bringing the Dino. And last but not least is the 246 GTS. So there you have it. This was mainly developed for the American market, thinking that the Americans would prefer to have an open top car with the removable panel in the front, which then went on to the 308s and the 328s. So the Ferrari, or the Dino 246 GTS, with that removable targa roof, which was generally finished in black, making it sort of almost like a convertible to drive, and a very popular variant for the US market. So thank you very much for bringing the GTS along.